Hey, you guys, welcome to the channel. I'm Liv. I hope you don't mind, but I do want to take a moment to cover some news that was brought to my attention and I believe is worth highlighting. I know there's a lot going on right now in Washington, D.C. and in Texas with the redistricting updates, and I do plan to discuss those topics. But for now, I hope you'll stick around and share your perspective as I share mine. I'm not sure if you guys have heard the story, but a woman alleges that she recently lost her job by doing the right thing. She reported that some undocumented workers at the Kentucky Transportation Cabinet office were selling driver license to illegal immigrants for $200 under the table. These immigrants had fake social security cards and birth certificates, and the workers knew the documents were fake. They used it to bypass Homeland Security background checks. This wasn't just like a one-off. It was an organized operation. Situations like this are part of the reason why DEI is being challenged, in some places eliminated. Let's watch the news clip together. Here's the
The
clip.
state didn't want this out. Fraud inside Kentucky's transportation cabinet. Licenses issued without a driver's test.
It is an ongoing WDRB investigation, and tonight we hear from a whistleblower who says coworkers used her login to pull off this scheme.
The employees were being paid underneath the table.
They say sometimes
I immediately let my supervisor know about it.
truth hurts.
Did you ever think that this would cost you your job?
No,
And for Melissa Mormon,
I was angry for a long time.
this is one of those.
It hurts me that I'm talking about this and I actually like where I was working at.
Times.
I came into the office that day, my computer was shut down. I was told to go to the front door. Detectives came in, they interviewed me. That was it.
Mormon says she was fired 3 months after she sent this letter to the Kentucky Transportation Cabinet, blowing the whistle that workers at the NIA Center licensing branch were selling driver's licenses under the table to people who never took the driver's test.
Undocumented workers.
How did it work? What was going on?
The undocumented workers would come into the office in groups. They would provide them either permits or driver's license illegally. So they were bypassed without even taking the test.
How much?
$200 a person.
Up to 5 times a day, she says.
Was this an everyday thing?
Almost, yes.
I first reported on the driver's license fraud investigation in April after getting my hands on one of the state's revocation letters. We learned the transportation cabinet sent more than 1,500 of them in 5 months, telling drivers their license was issued in air and must be returned or they could be criminally charged. At the time, state officials confirmed at least 2 terminations, and ongoing state and federal investigations focused on the NIA Center in West Louisville and the E-Town license branch. But they denied all of our records requests, withholding 2,300 documents on the fraud.
Now, one of my viewers mentioned that a lot of Black women are losing their jobs at an overwhelming rate. And from my own research, I found that to be true. But I also found that much of it is tied to the DEI programs, which have not only failed to deliver on their promises, but have also created an alarming amount of waste. Instead of helping, these programs are often misused, leaving hardworking Americans, especially Black women, facing the fallout. This isn't just my observation and research, but many observers believe that mismanagement of the DEI programs may contribute to workplace imbalances, which could be one of the factors among others affecting employment opportunities for Black women. You can clearly see who these jobs are going to and what political party is supporting it. Meanwhile, many hardworking Americans are struggling to find good paying jobs to provide for their families. Yet, criminals are engaging in schemes that put everyone at risk. What's even worse is that many everyday Americans can't even get hired unless they go along with this corrupted or corrupt behavior. Employers use phrases like, you have to be a good fit for the company. But what they really mean is that you must adapt to their system of cutting corners and breaking the laws. Otherwise, you'll be pushed out and nothing will be done about it. That's the message that they are sending. Here is some more of the news clip.
Mormon's story fills in the blanks.
I found out it may have been going on for a couple of years before it was found out.
We're told it wasn't as simple as people getting state-issued driver's license or permits without taking the test. She says 2 of her colleagues at the NIA Center approached her with a business venture, asking if she wanted to get in on the scheme.
I was asked to bring certain customers in, and they are brought in to me without signing in. And you would scan their documents as usual.
Documents made to look legitimate, like birth certificates and social security cards, according to the letter she wrote to the state. But a key to pulling off this scheme was making sure the required Homeland Security screening was never run.
I start getting these emails saying, are you doing this? Are you doing this? Are you doing this?
And that's where it unraveled. She says those workers were using her login, a password she says her bosses made her share, as all workers at the driver's license branch did not have their own. And Mormon was training to be a supervisor.
I'm not even at my desk because I'm doing various duties, or I'm not there for the day. So, things start kind of coming together. I'm like, what's going on?
Was it always?
On top of that, more and more employers are requiring or strongly preferring people who are bilingual, especially in Spanish, for certain jobs, and those positions often pay more. I find this to be biased and discriminatory against American workers. We are Americans and our nation language is English. If someone needs Spanish assistance in this country, then the responsibility should be on them to pay for an interpreter or bring one with them, not put the burden on American workers. And too often, it's the illegal immigrants who call or walk into a business and rudely demand someone who speaks Spanish, refusing to deal with employees who speak English. They ask in a rude and entitled way, and that should not be accepted or tolerated. Here's the remaining of the news report.
Not even at my desk because I'm doing various duties, or I'm not there for the day. So, things start kind of coming together. I'm like, what's going on?
Was it always undocumented workers?
Yes.
Every time?
Every time.
It does not surprise me.
Adrian Trivedi helps people trying to obtain legal status, an immigration attorney for 14 years.
For those immigrants that don't have a pathway to obtain legal status, having a driver's license could mean the difference between getting home from work safely to their children, to their wives or husbands, and not for a relatively small price to be able to have that chance of avoiding deportation, even just for that day. They're willing to take it.
To Mormon, this license scheme exploited people.
I didn't want no parts of it.
Mormon says she wrote this letter with her boss on October 29th, and she spoke to detectives 3 months later. She was fired the same day.
Gut punch, yes. Very hard gut punch.
She was 2 years and 3 months onto the job, but she didn't technically work for the state. Mormon was a contractor for Quantum, a staffing agency that Kentucky hired to help fill positions in driver's license branches when they took licensing away from the county clerks.
Please record your message. When you have finished recording, you may hang up.
Mr. Van Staten, this is Gilbert Corsi from WDRB News.
The Michigan-based company did not return our calls or emails.
It hung up.
It's shocking. Why would an employer punish and take retribution on an employee that reported this wrongdoing?
Mormon's story, now the heart of a whistleblower lawsuit going after both the Kentucky Transportation Cabinet.
She should be a hero.
And Quantum Solutions.
There's a failure to supervise these employees. There were obviously no checks and balances.
Kentucky State Police is on it. There are serious concerns, and we'll hold anybody accountable if they violated the law.
That's basically all Governor Andy Beshear would say as we pressed on this case in April. But there was a part of our interview that didn't make our prior report, and it may be important now.
Is there an immigration component to this?
Not that I'm aware of.
WDRB is fighting in court for the paper trail to be made public, uncovering who knew what and when. Sometimes the truth does hurt.
I was hurt and depressed.
But Melissa Mormon believes
I really would like to get my job back.
it will set her free.
The Transportation Cabinet has a deadline this week.
The way that immigration lawyer was speaking, you would think Americans is legally obligated to accept immigrants and grant them residency or citizenship. Let's be clear, no country in the world is required by law to house, accept, or provide citizenship to immigrants, whether legal or illegal. Immigration is not a right, it is a privilege, and it remains the sovereign choice of each nation. Now, personally, I support immigration done the right way, but it is important to understand it is never an obligation or law. Now, in reference to the story, these are still allegations brought forward by Miss Melissa Mormon, the former clerk at the Kentucky Transportation Cabinet's NIA Center. In response to the allegations, the state has already taken action. The KYTC revoked 1,985 driver license deemed irregular, meaning those credentials are no longer valid for airport travel or even basic traffic stops. Now, the employees believed to be involved were temporary staff, and they've since been terminated. Politically, this has sparked a major reaction. Lawmakers, including Senate Transportation Chair Jimmy Hegan, are demanding a full investigation. Kentucky State Auditor Allison Ball has asked Governor Beshear and KYTC for a concrete action plan, warning that a black market for driving license may have been created. Meanwhile, the Kentucky State Police, the Attorney General's Office, and federal authorities have all launched criminal investigations. There are also timeline concerns. Ms. Moorman's warning letter was sent in October 2024, and WDRB made the allegation public in April 2025. Yet, Governor Beshear in April said he wasn't aware of any immigration related implications. That has raised questions about what the state officials knew and when. So while these allegations are still under investigation, there is now political, legal, and law enforcement pressure on the state to bring full accountability and transparency to this issue. Now, what do you think? Should there be harsher penalties for public employees who engage in this kind of fraud? Or is the real accountability on state leadership for not catching it sooner? Thank you for joining me. If you found this video informative, like this channel, subscribe, and push the notification bell for more videos. I'll see you in the next one.